And so welcome guys to our Sunday night inspirational training call. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's the 4th or the 5th of November, right? It's the 4th or the 5th. That's the 5th? 4th. All right. So I've always said to strive for a business where you don't know what day it is. And it's the 6th? Stop it. And so I've definitely achieved that, right? And it's been through a lot of hard work, no doubt, a lot of dedication, and people just like every single person who's on this call right now, be it you're, watching the recording, you're showing up live. And I just wanted to start with a little bit of maybe inspiration, and then I'm going to allow Miss Kramer to come on and just really fuel us with some education. And I know there's been a lot of events going on right now. We have currently had, Isagenix University was incredible that I know so many of us were at. I know Gerald walked the stage because he has rock stars like Lindsay and Amanda that have come onto his team that have just exploded. By so many of you guys are here and watching this recording. And you think about just the power of one person. And sitting down here, I'm going to just change my thing because I always feel like I look at you. There you go. I'm too far apart with all my tube tops. But, you think about that power of that one person, how one person, one conversation can dramatically change the course of your life, and you never necessarily know who it's going to be, but you always think about who it is who am I going to bless? Who am I going to bless? And I made a post earlier, and, I've been doing a lot of play here down in the Cayman Islands. I'm down in the Cayman Islands again for the second time this year. You guys, I remember being a nurse and getting vacation time was like strangling a noose around someone's neck. It wouldn't happen. And it certainly wasn't going to happen at the time that I wanted it to happen, right? I might get it approved, but by golly, if it was going to get approved at the actual time that I wanted to get approved, fat chance not going to happen is kind of where I was in life. And, when finding Isagenix and sitting down here in the Cayman Islands, I was going through my notebook, and this is a notebook that I take pretty much everywhere. I kind of write in study on one side, and then I write in inspiration and just kind of creation on other sides, and it's a very near and dear thing to me. And I've talked about my team in it, and I've talked about, just where I want my life to be in it, and to be down here with my husband this go around, and with two mentors now, with Brent and his wife, who have not only taught me, because it's one thing, right? And we're all learning about how to create money, and we're going to keep these calls simple and the basics, you plus two, them plus two. We have all the tools in the world, isagenixbusiness.com, ISA FYI, ISA product, we have all of those things. But, for once we start to create an abundance of passive income, and I remember just thinking about who I wanted to bring into my life, and I was manifesting and doing these meditations, and a gentleman named Brent Kessler came in front of me, and now I'm literally best friends with him and his wife. They're part of my posse, and what they teach me, and how they just show me the ins and outs, and how money really works, what it is that banks do, how I can protect myself. It's just incredible, the people that start to show up in your lives, and to be back down here. And so I've been kind of emotional on this trip. I'm a female, so of course I'm right. Who in here, female, can say that they're already emotional without anything happening? I see some hands going up. Gerald and Will are like, yep, that's it. That's the name of the game, right? They're already emotional. But it's Isagenix that brought me to that. It's the you plus two, them plus two that, brought it to me. And, for those of you who have been going to events, every single note that you take, where there's that one little aha moment that you hear from someone that that is maybe it's that one thing that you can implement that can help take you to the next level. And I just want to talk about one thing that I did talk about when I was at ICU. And I just want to remind everyone, or as we're speaking to people, or maybe as we're getting started ourselves, and then Kramer's going to take us away with some inspiration. I want to ask you about your list. And for a very long time, I was a very big, massive poser when it came to network marketing. And I did not have a written down list. I had just names scribbled down some. I didn't have a working list. And so I just really want to put that number one thing, because we're going to roll out a series about like how a 90-day game plan does, that Isagenix does. We're going to do that throughout our business pages, but I just didn't have one, you guys, and my business reflected that. And I hadn't gone through isamovie.com. I hadn't gone through it. I hadn't gone through every single video there at isamovie.com. And like, have you done that? Have you done that? Are you asking your people to do that who are getting started, who are talking about, I just don't know anybody. I don't have a large network. There's just nobody that I could possibly share with this because I don't have a large network. That is where I was. And so I just want to extend this challenge to every single person to have a list. To have a list that you can work, that you can write follow-up dates on, and we'll get more in depth as we go and we do our 6 steps to success, and as we kind of dive in and we like roll out some challenges. But like, if we haven't done that ourselves, how can we expect ever to attract someone? And we can think, so-and-so pops into my mind. Let me write their name down for a second. Or, Katie, she would be amazing. She does have a network. Or, Gerald's a car salesman. He would be great. Oh, Will's done some networking in the past. Let me write his name down. Not that kind of list to where you just like passively let people come to you, but where you actively sit down, you're in front of isamovie.com. You've watched every single movie on isamovie.com, where you have gone through isafyi.com and clicked on recognition, read through every single story there, and where you have been on isagenixhealth.net. You have used those 3 resources to go through, and you have a working list. It can be an Excel sheet. It can be, we're going to work on printing out our Facebook list. God bless Chris for really helping. We're going to be rolling out some like technology things where people can really keep track of it if you're more of an Excel person as we come up. But like, have you done that with knowing what your tools are? And for a very long time, I hadn't. And when I really got serious about building a business and I started writing down names, I can tell you that I had written down a name and then somebody would like call me the next day. And now Kathy Coover had said to allow it to be in a red notebook. So that's just what I made. I was like, all right, Kathy Coover said red notebook. But like, let me just extend that to you guys. Like, treat this like the profession that it is. It's amazing when you treat it like a profession and not like a hobby, what it will reward you. And that's just my task, my extension to every single person. And it's amazing. And I can tell you, to be sitting down here in the Cayman Islands and just watching sunsets and just reading books and working while I'm down here, connecting with people and, reaching out to people that are from other areas and still working and doing coaching calls. And, everybody that, was a part of the code system, right, that we were doing and watching and having enrollments and checking my phone and, absolutely doing all those things. But it's like, I'm sitting here with my toes in the white sand of the bluest ocean I've ever seen, watching sunsets, working and getting paid over $10,000 in a week. Like, I think that it's something that I can devote my time to, because Lord knows I wasn't getting paid that when I was wiping butts as a nurse, right, after 6 years of school. So that's my extension, is to have a list, have it working. It's one of the first steps of being a professional. But now I'm going to turn it over to one of my very near and dear best friends that she's become. People come into your lives and you just have no idea that first time that you got on a phone call, a welcome call. And, Lindsay's someone who, she came in and she wanted it all. She said she wanted the business. She said she wanted the products. She was just unsatisfied with where she was in life, and she felt it. She always knew she was meant for something more, and she's just really ran with Isagenix. And she's someone who I've seen dive into personal development just at a very high rate. And she's someone who always is positive. And even if we're in a conversation and something negative comes out of my mouth or something negative comes out of her mouth, she'll switch it very quickly. Like, oh wait, she catches it immediately, right? And those are the kind of people that I want to be around, or people that are willing to stand up for that positivity that is what we all require when we really are stepping into building something for ourselves. And she's just going to bless us with some awesomeness, I know. And then I'll talk about some events that are going to be coming up that I want everybody to make sure that they're aware about. But Miss Kramer, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, thank you, Casey. You, of course, have been, we emulate who we're mentored by. So I can't, think of anybody else I would ever want to be mentored by. But, she said, I wanted it all. I wanted it all. But I was not posting on Facebook. And how, times have changed over the last almost 2 years now. Um, but I kind of just wanted to do a little training on success. And just the pathway of success. So this weekend, I don't know if you guys saw on Facebook, I took my kids just on a little exploration through the city, and we have a thing here called the Bamboo Forest, and I'd never even been to it, and it's literally 10 minutes from my house, but it's 26 acres of just solid bamboo trees, and there's paths you can walk through and everything. So I had my kids there, and so after we got done with being there, we went to go get some lunch. And so we were just Googling, I was Googling, the meaning of the bamboo tree and stuff like that, because I have a 10-year-old son. And so this story of the Chinese bamboo tree and how it relates to success popped up. And I have heard that before. And so I knew that he would be able to resonate with it because it's an easy story. So anyways, I wanted to kind of just share that story for anybody who hasn't heard it before. I have a little presentation. Everybody can see my screen? Roz, thumbs up? Okay, good. Yeah, I see. Okay. So the bamboo tree, so just like any other tree, plant, anything, it takes fertile soil, water, sunlight, all that for it to grow. And during the first year, there isn't any growth. The second year, still no growth. The third and fourth year, there's still no growth with the Chinese bamboo tree. And in the fifth year, it shoots up 80 feet in 6 weeks. So it's kind of like, did the bamboo tree shoot up 80 feet in 6 weeks? Or did it lay dormant for 4 years? Or was it growing this massive, massive root system to support its, massive growth so fast? And I think we all know the answer, that it was growing this massive root system to support the growth. And it's kind of the same for people who, patiently work towards their goals and dreams. It's building character. It's overcoming adversity. It's strong internal foundation. And I keep looking at my notes because, I'm not a master at these yet, but that's okay. We have to have that to handle success, because as we all know, like there's so many people who win the lottery and literally they spend their whole earnings. I mean, $10 million, and now she's living paycheck to paycheck because they don't have that strong foundation to accept success into their lives. And so that's it's like we can be frustrated and at times, but we have to have that. We have to go through these trials and tribulations to get that foundation. And it also is like if the farmer that was farming the bamboo tree, if he would have dug up the seeds to just see what was happening, he would have stunned the growth with a bamboo tree. And the same thing for like a caterpillar. It goes through the stages, and it would be literally dormant on the ground. It would have a life on the ground if it had been prematurely came out of the cocoon early, without being able to. It just gives it the strength to be able to, the butterfly strength to be able to fly. So that's kind of, we can't see the success, but at the end it comes. And it's kind of the perfect parable to personal growth. It's never easy. It's, it can be frustrating. It can be slow, but in the end, it's so worth it. And we live in an instant gratification world. We're in a microwave world. We just want everything instantly. If we have to wait 2 minutes for something, then, we're frustrated. And that's just not how life works. I mean, there's no shortcuts to anything worthwhile. And we just have to have the faith. We have to have the faith, like, they do in the Chinese bamboo tree, that in the 5th year, it is going to shoot up and have that growth and have that massive support system to sustain that success. And it can be compared to, our business with Isagenix, raising children, anything like that. But when it comes to our business, like, we get so excited in the beginning, and, we enroll these people, because we're having this massive success. And then we go through our warm market, like Casey said, and then it's crickets. Nothing's happening. And so we have to have, I'm staring at my list right now, it's on my wall, a working list of people that we're going through. And because, so many people quit right before it's going to happen. They literally do, because nothing's happening. And that's, we're such a world of employees, and employees work to get paid. They don't work and then get paid. They work, get paid. And it's like, we have to Casey shows that in the geometric progression, but just like verbalizing it, it's like we do so much work and then we get paid. But pursuing your dreams takes time, and fertilizing it can take, weeks, months, years, but eventually, your dreams do come true. And it's just, we have to love and not support. We just have to love the journey, and just, it will happen. And I always say that to people, just keep going, just have the faith, and just be positive and speak life into your business. And eventually it will happen. So that's kind of my inspiration for the evening.
The first time, I love that. The first time, Lindsay, which that was so awesome, that I ever heard the bamboo analogy was when I read the book by Lenny Evans. It was called A Journey to Believable. Mm-hmm. How many of us say, when I see it, I'll believe it? That's it, right? Like, when I see it, I'll believe it. But in actuality, it's quite the opposite. It's when we believe it as we'll see it. And that's when I read that analogy of the Chinese bamboo plant, and I was very new. And what you were talking about just right there, Lindsay, like how you have your list in front of you. And I don't know if you guys like wine, but I know Lindsay does. I know. And so I would invite everybody to really think about this acronym. I think that's what it's called, is WINE with a double N, WINNE. A list is always written. It cannot be this thing that's out of here. It needs to be in front of you. It has to be in front of you. There's something powerful about when you write something down. It's a force that happens. It clears your mind. And people are this business, right? When Lindsay talks about the success and patience, it's about it. She's speaking about the people that are out there on their hands and knees praying for a solution, right? And being patient with them, but having the due diligence and the courtesy to love people enough to where we take the time to write down their name, and when we connect with them, they go into this thing called a list. It's always growing. Just like she was talking about, it's always growing. She wasn't posting on Facebook. I wasn't on Facebook, you guys. I was not on it. It's always growing, right? Never prejudge. Who in here has prejudged someone like on their list, or like the chicken list, right? Or prejudge, this wouldn't be for them. And I can tell you, being at Isagenix University, and I was sitting across from a gentleman who used to cut the grass of a friend of mine in Isagenix. It talks about like there's people, there's nowhere, there's, can't find any people, or people aren't ready to join yet, or I live in more of an influential area. And this man is now at the Crystal Valley Executive, like ready to quit his job building an Isagenix business, but she didn't talk to him because she prejudged him as somebody owning his own business and not wanting to build this. And now he is a growing fast top leader in Isagenix. And every single time she hears his name or thinks of him, she's sick to her stomach because she thinks, my gosh, this is someone that was right in front of me once a week when I was actually building an Isagenix, but I was prejudging him, right? So never prejudge. Network on purpose. That's your second N in the word wine, right? It's written. I is for it's always growing. N is never prejudge. The second N is we network on purpose, meaning we're part of meetup.com. We're part of going to birthday parties. We're going to family reunions that maybe we otherwise wouldn't have gone to. I don't know if you want to, right? Like I was, not necessarily like I was going out to the grocery store to network, but when I was out at the grocery store, I was networking on purpose. You know what I'm saying? But like go to places, see places, expand. If you're someone and you're a tennis coach or do tennis, you are networking on purpose to expand, to add people to your social media. You're networking on purpose while you're out and about, and you're doing that because the E stands for expanding your awareness. You're expanding your awareness of what's around you by listening to people, by listening to what they're saying, how they are in life, because we're asking them more questions, right? And so it's just always with that list, you guys, because your list is your gold mine, because people are the gateways to miracles. The miracles that have happened in my life have been through people. Jennifer Trinkner was a miracle to me by bringing Isagenix. And I know that I've been able to be a miracle to other people by Isagenix is my gateway that has allowed them to be introduced to this nutrition, to personal development, to this community, to this compensation plan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? It is truly just everything that Lindsay just said about that list. And, we will go blue in the face about it, just about events. We have GoPro coming up December 1st to the 4th. If you guys don't think that you can get there, message me. Where there's a will, there's a way. We can find one, I'm telling you. As far as with tickets, we can definitely find one depending on your team members. If you guys, have team members that are there, like what can we do to get you there and get spaces? Then, of course, there's NYKO that's coming up too. And that one is, I believe, the 12th through the 14th. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that NYKO is the 12th through the 14th. Okay, I see my thumbs up on that one. So, that's coming up. If you guys aren't going to that one, you guys, you have to be planned already for celebration. I know that people just, if anybody was at University in Action or ICU, I would love a feedback or a comment. I have been getting messages constantly about people that were at UIA, just how engulfed in the personal development and the training and how motivated and inspired, and they just can't wait to share this with their people. And I was listening to a podcast today by the lead trainer at University in Action, and it was titled, Leaders Go First. Everybody is always waiting for somebody else to go first. Everybody is always waiting for somebody else to just get out there in that limelight, take the hit, take the fall, because people want to. People are wanting to get outside of where they are, right? People are miserable in their life. They're unhappy. They're unsatisfied. They want to, but they're wanting somebody else to go first. And every single time we decide to go first, we give somebody else permission to do the same thing. And so just my invitation is for everybody is to go first. I know Kramer used to never want to speak in front of anybody, talk to anything, do anything. And because Gerald said yes, Amanda was able to say yes, and Lindsay was able to say yes, which led to when now Chris has been able to say yes, that by gosh, we now have a lot more technology rolling out. Thank God for that. Because I said yes, Aurelia was able to say yes, so like Cindy Vasquez saying yes, because somebody says yes. Roz is sitting there going, yes, right, with her face because somebody went first. And every single time we decide to do that, in any decision, anything we learn, that's what it takes. So does anybody want to share anything or celebrate anyone? or anybody at events, or Sue Yanahan, is there anything that you would like to say about being maybe at ICU, or what you could say as far as events going on, or Gerald and Will, I know you guys were at ICU. Man, anybody that was at an event lately, I would just love to hear one or two things as to why an event should be like possibly the number one thing that goes on your list. If you're on this webinar right now, you're wanting to build a business. I would be my imagination. So anybody, Roz, man, that's been to an event lately, like just share one thing on your heart as to why events. Nobody can unmute, so hold on. Okay,
We're gonna work on it. Después.
Everybody's unmuted, but now you can unmute yourself. So you can unmute yourself if you want to share.
I do.
Yeah, Roz.
Okay, I loved IC University, and all the speakers, including yourself. They had so much to say. I tried to take notes as fast as I could, but I loved the fact that Michael Klaus explained that there are different firstborns and how that affects people's lives. Because I had always grown up, Lynn Hagedorn talks about this too, about how she identified herself in the Millionaire Mindset. She identified herself with letters after her name in the medical field. And she had a hard time transitioning to network marketing because her identity was tied to that. And Michael Klaus said at the university, IC University, that there are different firstborns. And because I'd always identified myself as the baby of the family of 8 kids, my identity has been wrapped up in that for 50 years. And so when he said that if there's 5 years span between you and the next oldest, you're a firstborn. And I'd always thought of firstborns always being leaders, and everybody else underneath them were followers. So by golly, I'm a leader. I didn't even know that I was a leader, but now I'm a leader because Michael Klaus told me I was.
Bam.
So I'm doing it.
And just having somebody instill that, you know, for people who weren't there that don't, you know, with the way that he articulated, I mean, it really is, but just seeing, you know, to look at a different perspective, a little bit more belief, which is just like what Lindsay talked about, that journey to believable, with that foundation of that massive root system growing. You guys, that root system, us being on this call right now, hearing something, is growing that root system, that foundation, so that we can sprout up like that. But so many people aren't willing to do it. They want to keep looking underneath the soil. They're not willing to do that foundation. I know so many people stack and build and, you know, connect people, financially link and all of that. And that's that root system that's building. It's that root system that's going. That was an awesome share. Thank you so much, Roz. What about you, Miss Sue? Anything you want to say? I know Sue, you just had some people come back that were just on fire.
No, I was
Your husband.
to everybody for reaching back and helping the cozies, and they totally are on fire. So it's really fun to see that. And like that is like Jim Cozy is that, what do you say, that ignorance on fire kind of, because he's catching up on all the training and all this stuff, but he's just like out there like we're in this cafe and I hear him get on the phone with somebody, you know, and he's just like, yeah, and hey, I'm gonna talk to you about this Isagenix thing because you're gonna do it, and you know, and I'm just like, oh my god, you know, but I mean, it's working for them. I don't know what, so I'm kind of learning from them as well, you know. They're doing great. They're doing great. So
it's his belief, though, right? Because it doesn't matter necessarily what he knows, or he might not know all the ins.
Yeah.
What
they don't know all the stuff yet, but the guy lost 46 pounds and he's like out there posting, and he's out taking 15-mile bike rides, and he's just, you know, he's crazy. He's just so happy with it. So literally wants to share that with everybody he knows. And I'm looking at that, and I've been here like going, you know, for 9 months, like, oh, I don't know, you know, might want to do this business, I don't know. And these guys are like blowing it out of the water. And I'm like, oh, shoot, they're going to rank advance above me, which I'm like really happy about. But I've been like, oh, no. You know, it's pretty funny. So yeah,
It's-
I gotta light the fire under me and like learn from them, learn that part from them because
It's a good business when you want people below you to go above you. That's a very, very good business model that we
It
have.
is,
So that's
right.
always the Michael.
Exactly.
Like what you said. So I mean, there's a fire that's been caught. There's a knowing. There's a belief. And you know, Beth went to the event and she came back and she gave her passion to Jim, and you know that's there. And then he has that product story, and it doesn't have to be this weight loss story. It can be better sleep. It can just be, you know, being consistent, like being a product of the product. Like what is it that you love? Like I travel with Isagenix, but letting that belief pour into everything, because you know, just like I said in the Lenny Evans book, people think when you see it you can believe it, but it's quite the opposite. Jim is believing it. He already sees it. So he's able to get on the phone and start talking, just like, yo, it's this thing called Isagenix. Like, you got to start doing it right now, right? And people are going to know because his belief is so high. There's no doubt in his voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Isagenix,
Yeah. It's great. It's really great.
love it. One more. We got one time for one more share. If anybody else wants to share anything.
I do.
Yes, Chris. Our home.
I do. I just wanted to give a shout out and say thanks to both Lindsay and Amanda. I just like within the past, I don't even know, like month or something, and like since the retreat, it's just like I feel like there's a whole different level of just like team unity. And I know like they've, you know, enrolled some people like that are like Jordan, and like some people that are coming on super strong, but just like the support I hear all the time at events, people talk about how they don't have that, you know, like when they enrolled that they're like, yeah, I wish I had somebody that was coaching me. And just, I don't know, like you two just have been like freaking all in, on fire, on every call, like on every, like message, this message, that message, jump on this, jump on that. But it is awesome. Seriously. Like, I think if I'm feeling it, I know that other people are feeling it like that, are even like newer, you know, than I am. Like, and it gives it a whole different feel, like that it's not a job, like it's like family. It's like, oh my God, like, you know, jump on this call, like do this. So I just wanted to say thanks, because like it's really noticeable. Like both of you are just like on fire.
Amen to that. That is a beautiful way to leave it. I know my husband sent you a picture last night. My husband and I were out to dinner, and I'm sitting there on the phone. He's like, this is Casey on date night.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You guys, like, when you have people, Chris, like you just said, you know, like Amanda and Lindsay, and like what you guys do, and every single person on this call, it's like you're going to show up because it's, you know what it is that you have, you know what this gift is. And that's what we have, is we do have this community of so many people. And Chris, that's so beautiful that you point out. And, you know, I can tell you I've taken a good bit of time off while I've been down here in the Cayman Islands, but it's hard for me to say no. I get a message from frickin' Amanda, like, hey, we got these rock stars coming on. Could you be on? I'm like, okay, what day is it? Yes. You know, and then I'm like texting Brent, all right, when's the snorkel time? All right, we got to change it because I got to do a Zoom. Like, but that's it, because it's not a business when it's a family, and when you know that it's what it's going to gift somebody. And it's like being on this Zoom isn't like work. It's like love. It's like, oh my God, I get to see people that I love. Like Cindy's here, Sue's here, Raylene, Chris's face, Angela, Brenda's here, Sherry's here, Amanda, Liz, Will, Gerald, Missy, a couple Casey's, Lindsay, Roz, you know, those are just the faces on my first page here. But like, it's not even like work, you know? And so I think that's a beautiful thing to end on, Chris, is that it's a family. And when you can have that as your job, I mean, you're rich, you know, like you have happiness, and that is richness, and healthy body to walk through this life. So we will post this in the recording. Lindsay Kramer, thank you so much for that beautiful teaching with the bamboo. That was beautiful. The root system that we are all building. And we will post this recording. Again, Chris, you're about to unroll a lot of stuff I know that I'm playing with in technology. And we just thank you. Thank you for pushing us, and Cindy Vasquez for doing the Spanish group that so many people take advantage of. we love you so much for all the hard work that you put into that. That is just massive that you allow all of us to partake in that and every single person on. So we'll see you guys on the flip side, but in the groups, and come to events, isagringsevents.com, and make your list. Make the list. Have a written list and be a professional with a written list by using the tools that allow your mind to formulate that list so that we can build on step upon step. So see you guys on the other side. I'll unmute everyone. Yeah. All right. Everybody's unmuted. Bye, guys.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.